I put on my new Christmas sweater to record this video and I'm so excited. Hello friends, I'm Rosa. Welcome to the channel. So, yeah, new Christmas sweater. It's not even December yet, as I'm recording this video anyway. But I feel so jolly. Anyway, today we're talking about my December TBR. Quick disclaimer, I don't know. I'm joining the Reindeer Marathon for December. Readathon, Reindeer Readathon, that's what it's called. Not a marathon. Could you imagine? I don't think so. So these books, I did start out having another TBR for December, but then I changed them so that they would fit with the prompts that we were given. But in general, a lot of my original TBR actually just happened to fit with the prompts as well, so I guess in that way I'm pretty lucky. Not gonna talk about the prompts though. If I do any vlogs or anything like that throughout December, I will mention it then, but or if I recall like quickly, I'll say it while talking about the books. But we have 11 books to go through today. I'm excited. If you want to check out any of them other than me just like hearing me just talk about them, I will link to them in the description box down below, to both on Book Depository but also Amazon, so you can check them out there. But as per usual, let's start with my book club's primary pick. If you want to check out the book club, by the way, and read this book alongside us, there's a link to it in the pinned comment. Our primary pick is A River Enchanted by Rebecca Ross, which is an adult fantasy. I think it takes place in Scotland, or at least is Scottish inspired, which is new to me, so that's super exciting. But we follow a woman who lives on an island where some mysterious things are going on and a lot of girls are going missing. So she wants to solve this mystery of where the girl's going to, what happened to them, but she needs help from her childhood enemy or rival, something like that, to actually be able to solve the mystery. He plays an instrument. I'm guessing it's a harp or whatever this thing is called, a lute, I don't know. But the instrument is supposed to be magical in some way. And so the two of them have to team up, work together to figure out what happened to these girls. And I'm so excited to read this. Sounds a bit like a cozy mystery with fantasy involved and enemies to lovers, but like childhood enemies to lovers. Sounds like a good time. I'm so excited to read this. Been wanting to read it for like, I got this in February. In February. I am so bad at reading my books. I'm terrible at reading my books. The secondary pick is also a mystery, also one that gives off cozy vibes, and it's Spells for Forgetting by Adrienne Young. I have high hopes for this because I love the Fable duology, which is right here. I love it. And that's by Adrienne Young. But while Fable is young adult fantasy, this is adult fantasy with mystery involved too. I think there's a bit of a second chance, like childhood thing to whatever in this one as well, because we follow a girl whose boyfriend 14 years ago was accused of murdering a girl in this town that they lived in. He ran off seemingly, but she stayed around in the town and just grew up there, lived there, still lives there. However, this guy shows up after 14 years because his mother died and he has to spread her ashes and stuff. But while he's back in town, strange things start to happen in the town, and there might be some mysteries going on, some secrets are about to be spilled, and also there might be, as it turns out, more with this girl's death 14 years ago than they first thought. So Spells for Forgetting. Does it have anything to do with, I don't know, now I'm kind of thinking about the title. Is that a spoiler? Anyway, I'm excited. Super excited for this one. High expectations, but also perfect fall-winter reads. So, I mean, December's winter, but perfect for this time of year, I feel. So good choices. Primary, secondary pick. I'm super excited for both of them. Like, really, really excited. This next one I've talked about before, but it fit with one of the prompts, and I'll let you know why in a second. Because I never finished Babel by R. Kwong, not because I'm not entertained by it, but just because it turned out a little bit heavier than I thought it was going to be. And I was expecting it to be heavy. It just was a little bit more than I thought it was going to be. So I have been reading this on and off, but mostly off these days, and one of the prompts was to pick up a book that you hadn't finished. So I was like, I'm taking this as a sign that I should finish Babel before the year is over. So I'm doing it in December, even though it may have to take me the rest of the month. I don't know how long, but I'm gonna do it. This is hard to summarize though, but it's adult fantasy, but also historical fiction. Historical fantasy? We follow a guy he's half Chinese, half British, half English. He's been brought from China to Britain, or more specifically England, where he's being taught different languages and taught how to fit into British society and stuff. And then he has to go to Oxford, more specifically Babel, which is basically the center of translations. I feel like this is going to be so annoying for the camera because it keeps doing this. I'm so sorry. It's very foily. But Babel is the center for translations, and this is when it starts getting a little bit difficult to explain because there's something with magic and translations in this book, and at this point while reading I still haven't fully gotten it explained, but it also has to do with silver bars, or just silver. Something when you do like a translation with silver, it can have like you can do stuff with it like vanish or just disappear, like, you know. But as our lead guy is spending time at Babel, he's enjoying it, but there's also some stuff that just seems off. People are very rude because he is quite clearly not full-on English. There's a lot of racism in this book as well, and he's starting to wonder if maybe it's fair that England has all this power from all this knowledge and the silver bars and stuff that they have at Oxford or at Babel, but they're not sharing it with the world. So like, some things are just off about this, and that's as much as I will say about Babel, but I'm about a third into it, I think. I think it's because the last 50 pages that I read, literally nothing happened. And while at first I thought, okay, the language thing, pretty exciting. I just need more than that. I'm sure it'll pick up again at some point, but it just didn't in those 50 pages. So I will be reading it in December though. It's happening. I'm finishing it. It's gonna happen. Next up was another one, but I think this is also one that I started reading and then put down again. But I think I picked this one because I don't like the cover of the book, and that was a prompt. It's Sword of Destiny, which is technically the second prequel or set of short stories for the Witcher saga, I suppose we could call it, by Andrzej Sapkowski? I think I mispronounced his last name. I'm not Polish though, and I don't know how to pronounce Polish names or words. I don't even know any Polish. But this is the second set of short stories. The first one is The Last Wish, which I have read and fully enjoyed. And then I started reading this, and it's just not written in the same way that The Last Wish was, where everything was just kind of like woven together by a story that's in between the other stories, if that makes sense. This is very much like one story, the next story, and then the third story. And I really enjoyed that The Last Wish was written that way. So when I found out that it wasn't, I was a little bit disappointed. But I'm going to be reading this in December. I feel like it's going to be a good December read. I'm looking forward to it. But in The Witcher, we follow Geralt of Rivia, who is a Witcher. He's a mutant. Well, yeah, that's what they call themselves, so that's what I'm going to go with, but it's a bit hard to explain. He's gone through some experiments to basically become a Witcher, and Witchers are mutants who basically you can hire them to deal with different supernatural problems. He sounds like a Ghostbuster. He's not. He deals with worse problems than that, but he sounds like a Ghostbuster. Whatever. And so it's about, at least the short stories are about us just following him on different tasks and also being introduced to the different characters that are in the saga itself, which I believe is 5 books total or something. So before I can get started with that, I need to get through this, and it's happening. It's probably gonna make me want to play the game again, which I don't have time for, so maybe I shouldn't read it. I'll do it anyway. And now we're entering my readathon material, which I'm super excited for because I am doing a Christmas readathon. So I'm gonna be reading 4 Christmas themed rom-coms or at least romantic contemporary romance books for the readathon. I really hope I can find the time to have those 2 days. I haven't actually read the synopses for these, I just realized, but I'm reading One Day in December by Josie Silver because I heard many lovely things or read many lovely things about this book, and I just realized that I don't know what it's about. No idea. Okay, I've read the back of the book now, and I'm like, this is gonna be heartbreaking. Okay, but anyway, we follow a woman who one day while walking down the street sees a man in a bus driving by, and they make eye contact, and it's like, whoa, you know, one of those moments. I've never had a moment like that, but you know those moments, yeah. She's like, I need to find him again. Like, there was some kind of connection here and I need to find him again. Unfortunately for her, she can't until she shows up to one of her friend's parties, and she very happily introduces her to her boyfriend, who happens to be the guy from the bus. So it follows the 3 of them through their friendship and heartbreak and various different situations throughout 10 years. And that's pretty much the book. and I'm like, oh gosh. Because I know a book like that, when it like lasts for 10 years, I'm gonna get sucked in so bad. I'm gonna get heartbroken. I'm probably gonna start crying. It's fine, whatever. Just another day where I have to confront the fact that I have emotions. It's fine. Actually, I'm really looking forward to it because I heard that it's beautiful. So another book for my Christmas themed readathon is Window Shopping by Tessa Bailey, which I really wanted to read last year and then I just never got it. But in this book, we follow a girl who one day while staring at this window is approached by a man who's like, what do you think of the decor? And she's like, I hate it. And he's like, I own the shop. And she's like, well, this is awkward. So he hires her to basically decorate the windows, and there might be some tension there between the two and some temptation, and I've heard that it's smutty. So I was trying to go at least in 3 different directions with my readathon picks so that it wasn't just going to be like the same kind of contemporary romance, but it would be different kinds of contemporary romance. Needed a smutty one in there, so Tessa Bailey really covered me with this one. I'm expecting a fun time, but nothing deep from it, you know? That sort of situation. And the third readathon book that I have is In a Holidaze by Christina Lauren. And this is about a woman who ends up in a time loop. She's gone to the same place to celebrate Christmas. It's her favorite place, and this year it's supposed to be the last time that she celebrates Christmas at this place. So she's like driving away from the place and thinking, please give me something, make me happy, and suddenly things go dark and she's sitting back on the plane or in the car or whatever. She's on her way to this place again, very confused. So she's stuck in a time loop, and that is all I know. And it's Christmas time. And I'm thinking this will be more of like the rom-com, like the classic rom-com kind of contemporary romance. So we have a little bit of everything. I also have a 4th one, but I don't have it as a physical copy yet. It is on its way to me. I'm super excited for it, but it is Make You Mine This Christmas by Lizzie Huxley Jones. All I know about this book is that it has fake dating in it, but fake dating between a man and our lead woman. However, our lead woman during the fake dating with this man actually ends up falling for his sister, which sounds like fun. So it might be like classic rom-com, but it might also be leaning a little bit more towards something like One Day in December. But I think it sounds like it's a funny twist on these tropes because I've never seen that. Or tropes. Fake dating. It's a funny twist on fake dating. I've never seen that and I'm looking forward to it. So it is on its way to me right now, but I don't have a physical copy of it. So, but Make You Mine This Christmas. I'm looking forward to it. Also, it seems like it's been very well received as well, which is a good sign because it was just released recently as far as I know, and it's just good to see that it's well received. I'm looking forward to it. Lastly, I have 3 arcs that happen to fit into different prompts for the readathon. So the first one is Daughter of the Siren Queen. I read Daughter of the Pirate King, which is the first book in this duology. I think I read it in October and it was like classic fast-paced YA with pirates and a little bit of magic and also an enemies to lovers situation, and I thought it was so much fun. So when I got the chance to request the sequel, Daughter of the Siren Queen, I was like, I need this right now. So I requested it, it was approved. I'm looking forward to reading it so much. But in the first one, we follow Alosa, who is the daughter of the Pirate King. She has often been sent out on jobs by her father and is currently also on a mission to get something from the ship that she's been taken prisoner on. So while out like on her own ship with her crew, the ship is taken over by this other ship and their crew, and they take her prisoner, take her back to their ship, and she's like totally like just breaking out of the cell and everything in the middle of the night, like no problem, because she needs whatever thing is on the ship. However, the captain's best mate, is that what it's called? Like the second highest rank or whatever, is also his brother, and he keeps getting in the way of Alosa's mission. But also he might be kind of cute, and there might be a whole situation there as well. The first one was so much fun. I will be reading this in basically one day and I can't wait. It's gonna be hilarious. I'm looking forward to it so much. The second arc, I've tried to read the synopsis before and it's confusing me, but it's called The Stars Undying. It's by Emery Robin and it's an adult sci-fi, but the plot itself the synopsis is so confusing. I've had this though for a little bit on my Kindle, so I really wanted to read it, also because it actually came out at the start of November, so I'm a little bit behind on this one. And before it came out, I also heard good things, but now it seems like it's been not super well received. Not badly received, but not super well received either, so I'm a little bit nervous going into it, but hoping for the best though. But I cannot try to summarize it, so it'll have to wait until the wrap up at the start of January. Oh geez, wow. And the third arc that I'm reading is one that's coming out, or is a copy of a book that is coming out in January. It is Emily Wilde's Encyclopaedia of Faeries. It's a very long title. But in this one, we follow Emily, who, as you can probably tell from the title, is very interested in fairies. She doesn't do well with people, but she loves her dog, I think it is. She loves, like, discovering new things about fairies. She loves to do research on fairies. It's her thing. She's a bit of an antisocial woman, but she does her thing and that's her life, and she's good at it and she's good with it. But then, while on a research trip somewhere up north, doing research on this specific kind of fairy that's very elusive, they're called the hidden ones, she also is dealing with the fact that there's an academic rival to her that she doesn't really know much about. And as she's on the trip, she starts to, there's some mysteries, some strange things happening. She's also getting very curious about this guy, her rival. And yeah, I think that's what I know. I thought this was gonna be a standalone actually, but it turns out that it's a series, so now I'm a little bit nervous going into it. But I'm also very excited because it looks like it's been well received and it's a fairy book. And my record with fairy books so far is pretty good. So I'm looking forward to it a lot. And that is my 11 book TBR for a December that is going to be very, very busy. And so it's probably very much not realistic. But I'm gonna go with it. I'm gonna do my best. I'm looking forward to it. If you've read any of the books that I've talked about so far, feel free to leave your opinions on them in the comment section, but please don't spoil anything, of course. I can't wait to do a wrap-up of the books as well at the start of January. If you want to check out the readathon, make sure to come back to the channel at some point. I don't know when it'll go up, but towards the end of December, I think, or like mid-December maybe. And if you want to check out the book club as well, there's always a link to it in the pinned comment at the top of the comment section. But that is all I got for you guys today, so I hope you enjoyed this TBR video. Feel free to give it a thumbs up if you did, and also if you're new here and you want to stick around for more videos like this from me, but also readathons, wrap-ups, bookish unboxings, and other kind of booktube videos, definitely consider hitting the subscribe button. But that's all I got for you guys today, so I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.
Oh, you know, you're beautiful.